Have you ever had a dream that felt so real it seemed to predict the future? For one young man in the ancient world, dreams weren't just fleeting images of the night. They were a roadmap to an extraordinary destiny, a journey filled with betrayal, hardship, and ultimate triumph. This is the story of Joseph and his prophetic dreams. Our story begins in the land of Canaan, where Jacob, also known as Israel, lived with his 12 sons. Among them, one was special: Joseph, the son of his old age, and his beloved wife, Rachel. Jacob adored Joseph, gifting him a magnificent, richly ornamented coat. This favoritism, however, planted seeds of jealousy in the hearts of his older brothers. Their envy wasn't just about a coat. It was about what Joseph represented. And then, Joseph started to dream. In his first dream, he saw himself and his brothers binding sheaves of grain in a field. Suddenly, his sheaf stood upright, while his brothers' sheaves gathered around and bowed down to it. When he shared this dream, their resentment boiled over. "Do you intend to reign over us?" they sneered. The dream seemed to confirm their worst fears, that their younger brother believed he was destined to rule them. Soon after, Joseph had another dream, even grander than the first. This time, he saw the sun, the moon, and 11 stars bowing down to him. When he told this to his brothers and his father, even Jacob was taken aback. "Will your mother and I and your brothers actually come and bow down to the ground before you?" he asked, though he kept the matter in his mind, pondering its meaning. For the brothers, this was the final straw. Their jealousy turned to hate. This hatred led them to a terrible act. They sold Joseph into slavery, tore his beautiful coat, stained it with animal blood, and presented it to their devastated father, leading him to believe his favorite son was dead. Joseph was taken to Egypt, a foreign land, his dreams seemingly crushed, his future bleak. He became a slave in the house of Potiphar, one of Pharaoh's high officials. But even in servitude, Joseph's integrity and wisdom shone through, and he quickly earned his master's trust. Years passed. Joseph faced false accusations and was thrown into prison. It seemed his story was over, forgotten in a dark cell. But dreams would once again change his fate. While imprisoned, he correctly interpreted the dreams of 2 of Pharaoh's officials, predicting one's restoration and the other's demise. His words came true, but he was forgotten in prison for 2 more years. Then the most powerful man in the world, Pharaoh himself, was troubled by 2 disturbing dreams that no one in his kingdom could decipher. He dreamt of 7 fat cows being devoured by 7 skinny cows, and 7 healthy heads of grain being swallowed by 7 thin heads. Finally, the cupbearer, whom Joseph had helped, remembered the young Hebrew in prison. Brought before Pharaoh, Joseph didn't claim any special power. He simply said, "It is not in me. God will give Pharaoh a favorable answer." He explained that the dreams were a divine warning. 7 years of great abundance would be followed by 7 years of devastating famine. He advised Pharaoh to appoint a wise man to store up grain during the good years to save the nation during the bad. Pharaoh was so impressed by Joseph's wisdom that he appointed him second in command over all of Egypt. The young dreamer, once a slave and a prisoner, was now one of the most powerful men in the world. Just as he predicted, the 7 years of plenty came, and Joseph managed the storage of immense amounts of grain. When the famine struck, it was severe, affecting all the surrounding lands, including Canaan, where his family lived. Hearing there was grain in Egypt, Jacob sent his sons, all except his youngest, Benjamin, to buy food. And there they came face to face with the powerful Egyptian governor they needed to petition. They bowed down before him, their faces to the ground, completely unaware that they were bowing to the very brother they had sold into slavery decades ago. Joseph's first dream, the dream of the bowing sheaves, had come true. After a series of tests to gauge their character, Joseph finally revealed himself. It was a moment of shock, fear, and ultimately reconciliation. He reassured his terrified brothers, Do not be distressed, for God sent me before you to preserve life." He saw the bigger picture, the divine hand that had woven even their betrayal into a plan for salvation. Joseph brought his entire family to Egypt, including his father Jacob. And there, his father and his brothers, the family represented by the sun, moon, and stars, all came to depend on him, fulfilling his second dream. Joseph's story is a powerful reminder that our paths can be filled with unexpected turns. It teaches us about forgiveness, resilience, and the idea that even in our darkest moments, there might be a greater purpose at play that we cannot yet see. A journey that began with a dream ended with a family and a nation being saved. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as we do, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell for more incredible stories from history. See you next time.